This study is a preliminary assessment of census and remote sensing data to monitor irrigated agriculture in Mexico.
This presentation will provide a brief context for irrigated agriculture in Mexico and the study's objective. Then, we will present the study area, the municipality of Penjamo in the state of Guanajuato. We will describe the materials, which consist mainly of census and remote sensing data, and the methods used to analyze them. Finally, we will present our preliminary results and make some concluding remarks.
Worldwide, the most pressing problems facing irrigated agriculture are increasing water scarcity and the effects of climate change. Mexico is the world's 12th largest food producer. In the case of Mexico, the context is even more challenging, as it has around 41% arid and semi-arid areas, as we can observe in this figure.
In Mexico, agriculture is shifting towards export crops to the world market, particularly to the USA. Understanding the dynamics of irrigated agriculture and associated water consumption is crucial for efficient water resource management and climate change adaptation strategies. This figure shows the huge increase in the exportation of products such as avocados, berries, and tomatoes.
This work aims to evaluate the quality and consistency of information from official census and remote sensing inputs used to monitor irrigated agriculture over the last 2 decades.
The study area is the municipality of Penjamo in the state of Guanajuato, shown in red in the figure. It is located in central Mexico, north of Mexico City. We chose Penjamo because it has an important irrigation area dominated by a single crop from 2003 to 2023. In this preliminary study, we want to avoid dealing with an area with different crops with different spectral responses and planting and harvesting schedules.
In Mexico, the 2 agricultural cycles, autumn-winter and spring-summer, play a crucial role in the country's food production. During the autumn-winter, irrigated agriculture is relevant since rains are scarce and irrigation systems primarily depend on guaranteeing the necessary water supply for crops. In contrast, the spring-summer cycle coincides with the rainy season, which reduces the need for irrigation in certain regions. In the ambrothormic diagram of Penjamo, we can observe that the rainy season is reduced to less than 5 months from June to October.
The material used in this study includes census and remote sensing data. We used the following inputs: agricultural census, open access data from the Agri-Food and Fisheries Information Service (SIAP) are presented in tables and offer details on the cultivated, harvested, and damaged areas by crop type, crop cycle and production mode, rain-fed or irrigation. Data are grouped according to spatial units such as states, municipalities, and irrigation districts. We also used a map of municipal boundaries and land use cover maps from the Institute of Statistics and Geography. Finally, we used remote sensing data, Landsat 8 multispectral imagery, vegetation index NDVI from the MODIS Mod 13A1 product, evapotranspiration from the MODIS Mod 16A2 product, and latent heat flux, expressed in watts per squared meter, which is directly related to evapotranspiration and obtained from the Ecosystem Spaceborne Thermal Radiometer experiment on the space station Acostris sensor.
The open-source software programs we used are AppERS, a tool available on the NASA web page to obtain Acostris evapotranspiration values, the Geographical Information System QGIS, and the statistical program R.
First, we prepared time series with MODIS evapotranspiration and NDVI vegetation index for 2002 to 2023, and Acostris latent heat flux for 2018 to 2020 data. We selected 30 random points in irrigation areas and observed the temporal variations of these variables. We computed the correlation coefficient between the zone area reported by the SIAP and indices obtained from the images as the sum of the NDVI and ET values in the irrigation areas during the autumn-winter cycle to evaluate the zone area during the winter-autumn cycle. I applied an unmixing analysis to the MODIS images to estimate the sown area obtained from the Landsat image for the same date, 2022. Finally, we used the Blaney-Criddle method to estimate the evapotranspiration of croplands using temperature data and crop coefficients found in the literature.
In Penjamo municipality, the dominant irrigated crop, representing more than 80% during 2002 to 2014, was wheat, and from 2016, wheat and barley. The total irrigation area sown during 2003 to 2022 varied between 12,000 and 34,500 hectares during the autumn-winter cycle, and 18,000 and 37,000 hectares during the spring-summer cycle.
MODIS NDVI time series allows crop growth to be clearly observed in both cycles. We can easily observe areas with 2 crops by year and others with only 1 during the dry season.
MODIS evapotranspiration time series also allows crop growth to be clearly observed in both cycles.
On the contrary, the ecostrus data obtained for the same points were very noisy. We observed very high latent flux values, which the uncertainty layer did not allow us to eliminate.
We threshold the NDVI of the 2022 Landsat image to depict the cultivated areas in the irrigation district. The area of irrigated agriculture from Landsat was 13,650 hectares, while the SIAP reports a very close value, 13,905 hectares.
The correlation coefficient between MODIS NDVI values, 500 meters spatial resolution, and crop proportion, from 30 meters resolution Landsat, was 0.85, which suggests that MODIS NDVI is a good indicator of crop proportion. We fitted a linear model to explain the crop proportion with the NDVI value. The model presented a good fit with an adjusted R-squared of 0.82 and can be used to unmix MODIS images.
We estimated the relationship between the annual NDVI and ET values from MODIS on the one hand and the total area sown according to the SIAP for each year during 2003 to 2022. To do this, we calculated the sum of each year's NDVI and ET values of the irrigation district cells. We evaluated the relationship between these values and the sown areas reported by the SIAP. The best relationship was obtained using the evapotranspiration, squared R equals 0.49. However, it is not a strong relationship and does not allow us to estimate the sown irrigated area accurately.
The results demonstrated the effectiveness of the MODIS time series in clearly depicting crop growth in both cycles. However, ecostrus data exhibited high noise levels, impacting the clarity of latent flux values. The effectiveness of MODIS time series in monitoring crop growth during different agricultural cycles highlights the utility of coarse remote sensing data in assessing irrigated agriculture over large extensions, for instance the entire Mexican territory. In the future, we will also use Sentinel-2 data, which presents high spatial and temporal resolution. The research underscores the importance of integrating different data sources and technologies to understand irrigated agriculture dynamics comprehensively, in this case, the census data from SIAP and remote sensing data. As water scarcity intensifies globally, the methods and insights presented in this study can inform policymakers in developing effective strategies for sustainable water resource management and climate change adaptation in irrigated agriculture.
Thanks for your attention.
This study was part of 2 projects supported by the National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM, and the University of Guanajuato.